courage can take us to the places we most want to be, but we have to face the fear. And how we face the fear is with self-belief. Welcome to Classic Advice. I'm Scarlett, your host. My goal with this podcast is to share my life experiences and advice with the purpose to inspire us and challenge us to become better versions of ourselves. Each and every episode will be dedicated to that. Before we dive in, big shout out to my listener down in Boston. I see you. Love to hear from you, as always. All right. The topic that I have for us this week is all about courage and how having courage can take us to the places that we want to go. When I was living over in Europe, I had this horse that I had trained right from when she was basically a baby. I was the only one that really worked with her, and something happened and she wouldn't allow anybody else to ride her, and it was a kids camp atmosphere, so all of the horses needed to be really friendly and not picky with who rode them and really great around kids, because obviously we want everybody to stay safe. But my boss came to me and he said, Mira won't let anybody mount her, won't anybody near her. I don't know what's wrong with her. I'm at my end's rope. You need to go fix this horse or I'm going to sell her. And he gave me a week to do it. Now, context, I just had my son, so I wasn't really working because I was busy looking after my son, who was just a few months old at the time. And I was like, okay, I think I can fix this, but no pressure, like a week. Okay, so I go up and I go up to Mira and I pet her, and she's being really, really sweet, and no, not really a whole lot of problems with me. So I was like, okay, well, maybe it's because I'm the one that trained her. Let's see, let's get the saddle out. Let's get you all tacked up, and I'm going to hop on her back and see what's going on. I put the saddle on her and I go to put my foot in the stirrup, and she goes to kick me. Now, that whole experience, I took a step back, and I was a little bit scared. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Being a first time mother, having all those emotions and hormones running around crazy, I'm thinking, okay, what is happening here? Like, why is she being this way? And I just took a step back. And I sat on the fence and I just looked at her and I just thought. I watched her just look back at me, and it got me thinking that, okay, I'm pretty scared right now. I'm scared because I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail in getting you better, and then you're going to be sold. And I loved this horse. Now, when I thought about it, I realized that I take a very gentle approach to how I train my horses. I ask my horse to do something. I don't tell my horse to do something. And that's just the way that I trained. And as I mentioned before, I used to do liberty work with my horses in particular. And a lot of that is, I'm asking you to do this because I have absolutely no equipment on you at all. I am asking you to do this. And you're going to say yes because you've bonded with me and you see me as your quote unquote alpha. Something that wild horses do is, when one of the horses in the group is not behaving themselves, so to speak, the mare of the leader of the group, which is a female actually, stallions are there to kind of protect the herd, but the mare is actually the leader, the girl. That's what a girl horse is called, a mare, will actually lead the herd where they go. And when one of the horses isn't listening, the mare will kick that horse out of the herd. And they will not let that horse come back into the herd until they submit. So I took it right back to basics. And was I scared about failing myself and failing Mira, and then Mira getting sold because I couldn't do what needed to be done and figuring this out? Oh, I was terrified. But I told myself, no, I can do this. I can do this. I've got a week. And Mira was one of those horses that is very strong-headed. When I first broke her, so to speak, there's something called join up, where you basically imitate what that mare would do out in the wild, and you push them away from you. You make them run and run and run and run until they submit. And how you tell a horse submits is they'll start licking their lips, and they'll lower their nose to the ground, and they'll run with their nose to the ground. And then when you stop and you turn your back to the horse will come up behind you and just stand behind you. That moment is called join up. You are now that horse's quote unquote alpha, for not a better way of explaining it. So when I trained Mira right from the start, right from the get-go, that's what I did with her. And for context's sake, it took me months for her to finally join up with me, for her to finally submit to me and let me train her. And I was okay with that because I wanted to ask her to do something and her do it out of love and out of respect, not out of force. Right? So when I was sitting on the fence looking at her, and I was given a week to get this done, I was so scared that this was actually going to take months. But I didn't have months. I had 7 days. That was it. And I tried explaining this to my boss, and he's like, no, you have a week. That's it. I don't have time for this. You fix her or she's gone. So every day, any spare moment I had between looking after my newborn son and this, I would run out to the corral. I would get my little whip thingy that I would just kind of wave in the air. I never actually whipped them. I just wave it in the air and it spooks them and then they run. So I would do that. And I chased her around this corral, and the corral was really, really big. So I would kind of divide it so it wasn't as big of an area because I'd get too exhausted. I can't run as long as a horse does. And so I would be in the center, and then I would send the horse, and the horse would run around in a circle. And then I would cut her off and make her run the other way. And then I would cut her off and make her run the other way and make her run and run and run. And you know what happened? She submitted. I can't remember exactly after how many days. It was quite a long time ago. But it wasn't very long. And she dropped her nose to the ground. And I turned around and I just stood there. And I waited. And she came up behind me and joined up with me again. And I gave her all sorts of pats and attention, and I massaged her, and we spent some time together. And then I would let her go and out in the field, and she'd join the other horses and go play. And I did that a couple of times. It got to the point where when I would try to demonstrate this to the kids at camp, she wouldn't even run a full circle around me and drop her head. She didn't want to run anymore. She was done. And she just wanted to submit. And to my knowledge, they never had any other issues with her ever again. But I also had to explain to my boss, I said, I have trained her so softly and with kindness and with gentleness and with the join up, with asking her to do something, not telling her to do something roughly, that I think that's what happened. Is maybe a kid was just a little bit too rough with the reins. Maybe a little kid was just a little bit too forceful, and she didn't like that. And that was her way of saying, no, I don't like this. And I brought my boss up there and I showed him what I did with her. And he was absolutely amazed. He said, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And to a degree, I couldn't believe it either. But that was a really scary moment for me. Given a week to do something that I actually thought was going to take months, and I was really scared. But I believed in myself, and I believed in Mira that she could do this. And I chose to ignore the fear and just have the courage to try. And when I was chasing her around the corral, I really tried hard not to think about the deadline. Horses are very, very intuitive. If you're scared, they know. If you're happy, they know. And they tend to almost mirror your emotions and your reactions to things to a degree, because they're so sensitive to your feelings. So I tried really, and it was hard. I tried really hard. I pushed the fear aside that I was going to lose my horse buddy forever if I didn't get this right. I pushed the fear out of the way, and I chose courage, and I chose self-belief and belief in her that she could do this. That she didn't need to be scared of the kids, that they weren't out to hurt her. And then after that, I did a bunch of work with her to kind of desensitize her to not being so, that I could be a little bit, not rough in a mean way, but just a little bit, so she would get used to how the kids were and not, take it personally, because she's so soft-hearted. But it was really, really an amazing experience. And it taught me a lot about courage and pushing the fear aside and just believing in yourself to go do it. And the lesson that I'd like us all to take from this story is that courage can take us to the places we most want to be, but we have to face the fear. And how we face the fear is with self-belief. I want you to imagine for me how you could implement this into your own life. What's something that really scares you, that you wish you had the courage to go do, but the fear is holding you back? There's that saying, courage isn't the absence of fear, but now I don't remember what it is. Courage isn't the absence of fear, but getting up in the saddle anyways, or something to the degree. The fear is going to be there 100%. But when the self-belief trumps the fear, I just chose that we're going to do this because we have to. And I even think I even said that to Mira. I talk to my animals all the time, like they can understand me. I said, Mira, we have to do this. We're going to do this. And then I sent her out to run. I really believed in my heart that I could do it. And when I was so focused on that self-belief, the fear didn't have room in my thoughts. And that's where the courage came in. And when everything was all said and done, it was like, what? I did have the courage. I did have the courage to step out and do that. So can you imagine for me what in your life, what fear is holding you back? And if you choose to believe in yourself that you can do it, to give you the courage to go chase your dreams. How is your self-belief? Surrounding yourself with people that believe in you can really help. Just speaking from my own experience in my life, I have a lot of people in my life that believe I can do this. That believe I can chase the dreams. Roy is one of my biggest cheerleaders. Roy is my husband. He's my biggest cheerleader in the background. Surrounding yourself with those kind of people really, really helps boost your own self-belief because they believe in you. And I believe in you. That brings us to the challenge of the week. This week, I would like you to go out and believe in yourself, to give you that courage to take you to the places that you want to be and where you want to go. And part B, to quote my dear buddy JJ, is to please pause, take a moment to reflect on all those times that you did do it. And love yourself. Believe in yourself that you can do this. To give you that courage, to take the leap, to take the step. And be aware of your ripple. Watch it grow. Watch your dreams come true. Just one little tiny step at a time. All right. Here's to you, my friends. For every step that you take to becoming a better you and making it count. Stay classic, you guys, and by that I mean stay unique, stay awesome, stay amazing. And that's a wrap for this episode. Thank you guys so very much for listening all the way to the very end. You are the best. You're the best. Thank you guys so much. It truly is amazing that you're so supportive and you show up for me every week, and it really means the world to me. I personally am going through a big, major life change. I am switching careers, and it's going to be a big, steep learning curve for me over the next few months. But it's going to be good. It's going to be good, and I'm excited to see where this journey takes me. So unfortunately, I did have to take the calendar booking link off of my website because I just don't know when I'm going to be available with this new job. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to hear from you, and it doesn't mean that I don't want to set up times to talk to you. I would love to hear from you. If you head over to my website, it is ClassicChronicles.ca. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, that's where my email section is. You can shoot me off an email, and I will always make time to write you back in an email. And as I figure out my life over the next little while, then hopefully I can bring that calendar link back up. But we shall see, because the oil field is kind of chaotic. Alrighty, take care, you guys. I love you, and we'll catch you next week. All right, bye.